I have to fight. You might think that I don't deserve a song that's on my own, but it's the very thing that's kept me breathing when trouble cutting me to the bone. You can't stop my song. You can't stop my song. You can stop my paycheck and take my life, but you can't stop my song. No, you can't stop my song. You know what they say? Sing today, tomorrow it might be illegal. Join me. You can't stop my song. You can't stop my song. You can stop my paycheck and take my life, but you can't stop my song. No, you can't stop my song. Well, sometimes my song is sweet and clear. Sometimes it's a brutal cry. Sometimes it's hardly there at all. It's like a whisper or a sigh. Sometimes I sing my song, and sometimes my song sings me. But nothing else takes me home so true or reminds me to risk it all to stay free. You can't stop my song. You can't stop my song. You can stop my paycheck and take my life, but you can't stop my song. No, you can't stop my song. But I know my song's got a ways to go, and I'm ready to see it through. You know the very thing that keeps me strong are the songs I hear from you. I believe the world is full of music. When the guns and the walnuts grow still, well, I strain every day to hear it, yes, and I swear I always will. You can't stop my song. You can't stop my song. You can stop my paycheck and take my life, but you can't stop my song. No, you can't stop. Sing it one more time. You can't stop my song. You can't stop my song. You can stop my paycheck and take my life, but you can't stop my song. No, you can't stop my song. No, you can't stop. You can't stop. You can't stop. You can't stop my song. Woo! You can't stop my song. Welcome to Wednesday Evening Musicale. Songs of resistance and assistance. You know, originally I was going to do a little program about gardens, my yard, gardening, birds. I got a couple of new songs about birds. And that was my plan, but that can wait a week, because this has been a horrendous week of news and suffering and despair and anger, and I felt like we needed to look at that tonight. So I chose some songs around that idea. I'm going to play a song that was written way back in the last century, you know, back when things were really bad. And that's my point here. This song, like all songs, there's an old saying actually that goes, those in power write the history, those who suffer write the songs. And the point is that we have always struggled, the haves and the have-nots, climate change, war, inequality. It's all just busted open with what's happened this week. The pandemic has really blown the barn doors off on all this stuff right now. So it's important that we remember that we have always struggled with this. It's not a linear thing. It's kind of circular. And it's important that we remember. And because our nefarious leaders count on us to not remember. I mean, from one day to the next, much less 1 month or 1 year, 1 decade, or 1 century for that matter. We need to remember, and we need to help each other remember, to remind each other. Martin Luther King said, we've been hearing this a lot this week, that riots are the language of the unheard. There's a fork in the path that we walk every day. It offers two choices, be true or betray. Each little lie leads us further astray from the home where the soul can flourish. There's a dry, droning sound that is hollow and cruel, as our language is gutted to be some tyrant's tool. And we're crazy with hunger and we're thought to be fools, but the heart still demands to be nourished. And I will tell you my dreams. Will you promise to guard them well? Everything is much more than it seems. There is power in these stories we tell. There is love in these secrets we tell. I want you to sing that chorus with me. And I will tell you my dreams. And I will tell you my dreams. Will you promise to guard them well? Will you promise to guard them well? Everything is much more than it seems. Everything is much more than it seems. There is power in these stories we tell. There is power in these stories we tell. There's love in these secrets. There is love in these secrets we tell. Oh, when we're asked to forget, we're denied what we know. In the rich ground of memory, resistance will grow. And we find our own voices, and they're rusty and slow. But without them, we're certain to perish. And I will tell you my dreams. Will you promise to guard them well? Everything is much more than it seems. There is power in these stories we tell. There is love in these secrets we tell. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Remember. We are such a complicated, as I like to say, deeply flawed species. On one hand, we are capable of the most horrific, heinous, horrible acts against our fellow humans. And on the other, we are capable of the most tender, kind, generous, visionary acts on behalf of humanity. And there's always this balance going on, except the news often seems to delve into the former a lot more. The grim news, the grim stuff I notice always, but lately again, during the pandemic, and there'll be all the grim litany of what's happening, and then a little kind of footnote at the end of some little act of kindness that happened. Ha! And it just strikes me that it would be better for us, it would be more helpful if the balance shifted a little more, so that we were hearing a little more of that other stuff along with the grim, heinous stuff, which led me to write this next song. I was driving like I used to and listening to the radio one day and kind of half listening. And out of this discussion, I heard the two words everyday gestures. And oh man, I just glommed onto those words and said them for like the next 60 miles, everyday gestures, everyday gestures. They just felt good in my mouth and they kind of landed in my soul and I kind of carried them off. And then shortly after that, kind of tuned into just the tail end of a talk that Duval Patrick was giving. And I don't know what led up to it, but what I heard him say was, when did we become a nation that shouts our anger and whispers our kindness? And that just took me the rest of the way. So this song kind of tries to explore a little more of a 50-50 balance of our complicated species, of which one day I want to secede and the next day I'm all in. need. The undeserving are left in need. Children for sale, whole countries bleed. The land is abused with poison seed. Yet human kindness flows unchecked. It makes space for children to feel respect. It sends brave souls into the heart of neglect, where they rebuild places and lives once wrecked. The doctor in the village, the children outside, it's the everyday gestures that turn the tide. The everyday gestures that turn the tide. Sing that with me. It's the everyday gestures that turn the tide. The everyday gestures that turn the tide. Oh, well, this life is so hard to make. Too little work and thieves on the take. Your children hungry, so much at stake. It's enough to make anyone's spirit break. Yet love survives in the bleakest place. It shines right out from your lover's face, from the friends who hold you in sacred space, from each generous act of healing grace. Just a tender touch in a wakeful night. It's the everyday gestures that make it all right. The everyday gestures that make it all right. It's the everyday gestures that make it all right. The everyday gestures that make it all right. Oh, our planet shudders with pain from endless wars for private gain. Yet peace descends like timely rain, where love compels us to try once again. Sometimes it's just a dance in the street, or a meal on the doorstep when you come home beat. It's wherever we conquer the mean with the sweet, where compassion enters so the troubles retreat. The fierce loving kindness, the hand unfurled, it's the everyday gestures that change the world. The everyday gestures that change the world. It's the everyday gestures that change the world. The everyday gestures that change the world. It's the everyday gestures that change the world. The everyday gestures that change the world. Its magic spins you round and round. Before you know it, your guard is down, and boy, you never saw it coming, though it was always close at hand. Eyes shut tight to the death of rights. Now you just can't understand. Every snowflake in the avalanche cries innocence. In the end, it's all just willful ignorance. Ignorance is bound to put you in a trance. Its charm is that you'll never see that your freedom was lost so easily, and boy, you never saw it coming, though it was always close at hand. Eyes shut tight to the death of rights, and now you just can't understand. Every snowflake in the avalanche cries innocence. In the end, it's all just willful ignorance. is a very cushy circumstance. Its consequences are coming due, and it's bound to be a shock to you. And boy, you never saw it coming, though it was always close at hand. I shut tight to the death of rights, and now you just can't understand. Every snowflake in the avalanche cries innocence. In the end, it's all just willful ignorance. And boy, you never saw it coming, though it was always close at hand. I shut tight to the death of rise, and now you just can't understand. Every snowflake in the avalanche cries innocence. In the end, it's all just willful ignorance. Woo! Willful ignorance. In that book I mentioned earlier, The New Jim Crow, Michelle Alexander quotes Martin Luther King, again, as saying, "The two most dangerous things in all the world are conscientious stupidity and sincere ignorance." There are cultures in the world who have struggled for centuries, the haves and the have-nots, climate disasters, illness, poverty, who understand how powerful poetry is. Poetry has been a game changer. It's been a revolution starter. And some cultures understand that, and you can be killed for simply writing a poem, much less disseminating it. Fortunately, in this country, our leaders haven't figured that out yet, and so we can continue to dip into that healing well of poetry. There's so much beautiful stuff going around on the internet. That's what I seek out and what I try to share when I share things on my Facebook page. And I wanted to share this with you in the show today. It was originally shared on the internet a little bit after 9/11, actually, by a poet from Portland named Kim Stafford. And he calls it Proclamation. Whereas the world is a house on fire, whereas the nations are filled with shouting, whereas hope seems sometimes small, a bird on a wire left by migration behind, whereas kindness is seldom in the news, and peace an abstraction, while war is real. Whereas my life is short, whereas my work is all I have, whereas I am afraid, whereas I am free despite all fire and anger and fear. Be it therefore resolved, a song shall be my calling. A song not yet made shall be vocation, and peaceful words, the work of my remaining days. Well, this last song brings me back around to Minneapolis, St. Paul, because, again, back in the last century, I had just performed a concert at the Ginkgo Coffee House in St. Paul, Minnesota, where I would have been with my friend Sally Rogers this coming Friday, June 5th, except for the pandemic and all the changes that have been wrought, and then now with whatever's going on in the Twin Cities. But here's the thing, is I was having coffee there the next day, and I was reading the newspaper, and I became very distressed by an article I read that a couple days prior to my concert at Ginkgo in St. Paul, there was a neo-Nazi rally planned in downtown St. Paul that had been disrupted by an anti-hate group who showed up with rocks and baseball bats. See what I mean? Flawed species. So I was heading up to Lake Superior, the beautiful shores of Lake Superior, always a healing experience. And the chorus of the song actually came right out of the powerful and wise lake. He's failed again, he cannot win here. He is a pawn in someone else's game. They laugh him off as just a loser. They cannot see he'll never be the same. He stays up late, he studies harder. He learns these laws they used to break his heart. He has a wife, she too is learning. Together they will break these chains apart. Deep in the night their lamp is burning. They cannot rest, so urgent is the need. Not one more child, nor man, nor woman should know the cruel end that hatred breeds. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Sing that with me. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. A sea of anger floods our nation, and some are lost in its dark undertow. Where is the strength to tread these waters and stem despair about to overflow? It's in the hearts and minds of people who see this world as common ground for all. It's in the earth and sky forever, and everything alive to freedom's call. There is a willingness to triumph over a force that tries to crush your soul. And in the towns and in the country, more lamps will burn as wounded hearts grow whole. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Come on. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. There is no simple end to hatred. It's in the fabric of this textured time. But when the threads of love are strongest, we'll weave a garment rich and fair and fine. The lamp is dark, the lovers sleep now. They gather strength in dreams which they will share. And with the sun they rise replenished. And they are rising, rising everywhere. And with the sun they rise replenished. And they are rising, rising everywhere. And with the sun they rise replenished. And they are rising, rising everywhere. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Rising. Well, that is my program for you this week, Resistance and Assistance. You can visit my website, claudiaschmidt.com. I have a virtual tip vessel there, and you can also see this video and all of my other videos I've been putting up on Facebook. If you know people who don't go on Facebook or missed the show for some reason, it will be at my website, claudiaschmidt.com. You can see it. And please share this as well. It means a lot for me. So this is where I leave you for tonight. Let's keep it together. Let's remember to breathe. Let's, like the button I wear whenever I can says, let's fight truth decay. And I'm very grateful that you were here with me tonight. Thank you, and see you next week. battered by greed. The undeserving are left in need. Children for sale, whole countries bleed. The land is abused with poison seed. Yet human kindness flows unchecked. It makes space for children to feel respect. Sends brave souls into the heart of neglect, where they